Hello, guys, and welcome to today's video. This is the first episode of the off-season outlook and discussion for the Atlantic hurricane season of 2022. And I'm hoping to get these types of videos out maybe twice a week, but at least once a week, I'm gonna have an off-season outlook and discussion for you guys. All right, so we're 88 days away from June 1st, and we're 71 days away from the NHC starting the twos, the tropical weather outlooks. So it's starting to get that time where people start to pay even more attention to what is going on out there in the tropical Atlantic. And one of those key factors is some place that isn't in the Atlantic, but in the Pacific Ocean, central east central, if I can speak today, and eastern Pacific, to be more exact. This is the Nino 3.4 region, and as you can see, um, we're at a value of negative 0.973, which is pretty down there. If we get to -1, that is moderate La Nina territory, and as you can see, there was a lot of talk, a lot of noise going around that La Nina was supposed to die by now, but as you can see, that's not that's not really the case. There was a point where it was dead on neutral here, dead on end of neutral, start of La Nina here, but then after that point in time, it started to take a massive dip down, as you guys can see. As you see, it's been constant the last couple of weeks here, as you guys can see from this downward motion that it's been taking over the last couple of weeks. Um, like I said, we are negative 0.027 degrees away from it being a moderate La Nina territory here. So this is going to be pretty important as we go out through time due to trade the easterlies keep going and strengthening this La Nina some more, or do we get some westerlies come in and start to warm up the waters there um, in those Enzo regions? That's going to be key going forward because this is going to have some implications going down the road when we start the Atlantic hurricane season, because you guys know that it takes about anywhere from 3 to 4 months for the atmosphere to catch up with the Enzo stuff. So, in my mind right now, I feel like we're in a lock for at least the start of the Atlantic hurricane season being at a La Nina. Okay, so here is the average of all the sea surface temperatures around the world. Global means equals global average. So, as you guys can see, the eastern Atlantic here has cooled down quite a bit here. Um, Not that long ago, maybe a week or two ago, the Eastern Atlantic was kind of boiling, but the trade winds have kicked in and started cooling off the waters here, um, as you guys see. But here in the Western Atlantic, Caribbean, and the Gulf, it's warmed up pretty nicely over the last week or so. Um, you know, like I said, all of this little stuff is going to matter going forward, as to what we can expect for the hurricane season ahead. But here in the Eastern Pacific, you can see that the Enzo regions have really cooled off here. We're talking, you know, some darker blues that are showing up in here. That's indicative of -2 to maybe 3 degrees, below average here, and that's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a big deal going forward. So we'll see what happens with that going forward. All right, so here is the 7 day change here, and as you can see, like I said, the trade winds have caused this cool water intrusion here in the Eastern Atlantic, and you know, here's the point that I wanted to get across here. This is going to be important as well because if the eastern MDR is cool, that's not going to be very healthy for long tracked tropical systems or tropical waves for that matter that come off Africa that likes to feed off the warm waters. Like I said, the waters have been cooling down there, as of late, but like I said, there's still about 3 months away, a little less than 3 months away from hurricane season. So these water temperatures can rebound really quickly, um, just whenever. And I feel like they are going to rebound at some point, just not right now. As you can see, here in the Atlantic, you know, not Enzo region, but here at the equator, that's a pretty warm look there. We've been dealing with a Atlantic El Nino as of late, and I do feel like it's going to transition into a Atlantic La Nina. And if that's the case, we're going to see waves, the ETSI intertropical convergence zone, where it's going to push north as time goes by, and that's going to be pretty important as well as we go out through time. As you see, in other places, 7 days, the Gulf has cooled down a little bit. I think that's because we actually had a front that came down not too long ago, and that's probably what dropped those temps a little bit, which is to be expected. We're getting to that point of the time in the year where fronts are not going to be as frequent going into the Gulf. But I do think that the waters are going to start warming from here on out until fronts come back down again in October and November. So we're gonna have to see how that trend plays out throughout time. All right, so here is the anomalies here, and this is based off of CFSR 1981 to 2010 climatology. I don't know why they haven't changed it to 1991 to 2020 yet, but that's Levi's thing. We're gonna have to leave it up to him to change that when the time comes. So as you can see here, these are the actual anomalies right now. So as you can see, we're dropping below normal here, Eastern Pacific, and then you got all this. I'm not even going to call that warm. That's hot. That is really hot. This is a hot pool here in the Western Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico. So you can really see that the warming of the air is starting to do its work here for the waters of the Atlantic. And this, like I said, it's going to be important going throughout time. You know, does this persist? Does it keep warming to way below above average? Excuse me. Um, or does it cool down a little bit? I mean, honestly, I don't see that cooling down like at all. Anyways, here in the Enzo regions, you can see the clear La Nina that's going on here. Just blues all over the place here in the Enzo regions. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. Don't be surprised by tomorrow if the CDAS shows a -1 in the Enzo region, which once again is a moderate La Nina, like I said. All right, so we're going to take a look at the CDAS sea surface temperatures. These are for right now. These are the actual sea surface temperatures for right now. And as you can see, for tropical development, you need at least 26°C or higher to feed tropical moisture into spinny clouds. Spinny clouds. We love. Some of us love spinny clouds. Some of us don't. It all just depends, and if they hit land or not. But yes, spinny clouds of moisture need at least 26°C to really, start to develop its, characteristics. And as you can see, they're pretty far south. Um, like I said, the eastern Atlantic has really cooled off as of late. You can definitely see on the sea surface temperatures of that cooling. Um, None of this here above 10 is suitable for anything tropical at this current point in time. But it's only March, so I do expect that these temperatures are going to start rising again at some point soon, as as we get closer and closer to the start of the Atlantic hurricane season. So we're just gonna have to bear that in mind. Um, Here in the Western Atlantic, parts of Southwestern Atlantic, Caribbean, they're at 26 and 27, and you see some 28s in there too. So this is definitely tropical, weather ready if the shear wasn't there. That's the only thing really keeping systems at bay in some of these warmer waters is that shear. Um, so and this is pretty normal for the Caribbean, like any time of year, because the waters are so deep. It's harder to um, upwell cooler waters. So that's why most of the Caribbean is tropical weather ready in terms of temperatures all year round. So this is gonna, like I said, it's gonna continue to warm going forward. All right, so here is another region of the Atlantic. We're looking at the Gulf of Mexico, Western Caribbean, places near Florida. You can evidently see where the Gulf Stream here is, as you can see some of the warmer waters heading up towards, you know, the tip, the border here, perpendicular to Virginia and North Carolina here. So there's the Gulf Stream. We got some 25s and some 26s popping up here. Then you got the Gulf of Mexico here, which is definitely not tropical weather ready here at this current point in time. Um, but like I said, this Caribbean here, this is going to be an area worth watching as we get closer towards the start of the Atlantic hurricane season. Um, I'm not going to go and say that there's going to be anything formed there at the start of the hurricane season, but it'd be interesting to see how these water temperatures are going to be once we get to hurricane season going forward. So this is going to be very, very important. All right, so obviously, whether these models show something or not, I'm going to show these models going 5 days out. So as you can see here, we got the high pressure that's dominated here to the western Atlantic, and then you got a piece of a high that's over here in the eastern Atlantic. As you guys can see here, weakness. There's a weakness between these two ridges here, and like I said, if this was like August, September, any tropical features would look for that weakness exactly right there to go out to sea, and wouldn't affect too much people besides fish. So we're gonna go out 5 days, and as you can see, the ridge is strengthening here as we go out through time. It's a dominant high pressure here. Doesn't look like it's weakening all that much, like at all. If the like I said, if this was August, September, this would be bad news bears type of ridge of high pressure here, because like I showed you guys in the first frame, you cut that ridge in half, and tropical systems are going to find that weakness. But there is no weakness here in this ridge of high pressure here, so that would push these systems west towards the United States until it does eventually find a weakness. But by the time it finds a weakness with this type of high pressure setup, it would be too late. I hate to say it, but like I said, this is March. No need to, be alarmed or anything. Yeah, we can see some fronts that are coming through here, some rain showers, but nothing tropical to even speak of, because it's, like I said, it's March. But I wanted to take a look at the models anyways, just to be, on the safe side. That's what we do around here. All right, so here is the ECMWF, and as you can see, just like the GFS, it has a dominant ridge of high pressure here that is going to, just, dominate across the whole Atlantic. Like I said, if this was September or August, September, this would be a bad look right here. But thankfully, we're in March, and GFS and European showed nothing at all. So, with that being said, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to try to have at least one of these off-season discussions every single week, if not two, if something major happens, which I hope not, but expect it once a week. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back again in a week to talk about some more Atlantic stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day.